Hey guys, Moose here. We are back with another episode of Stonehearth in our Rayya's Children playthrough. Today is March 12th, and we have a little bit of a combo one today. You might have thought I was going to say we have an interesting one today, as I do in literally every other fucking episode, but no, this one is a little bit different actually. We have two that we're going to discuss because they're related, and it's a little bit of a segue into a larger topic. So, there are two games that came out on this date in recent years. Well, actually not that recent. One of them was 2009, so that's 9 years ago. No, sorry, 8. 8 years ago? 8 years ago today, right? Yeah, 8. And the other, hopefully you can't hear the alarm or the siren, but I live near a fire station. I think I mentioned that recently, so every time there's a fire in the area, we get to hear sirens. Let's see. When was the other one? Oh, the other one was 2013, so 4 years ago. So the 2013 one was StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm, this date 4 years ago. And the other one is Command & Conquer Red Alert 2, Uprising, which I have no fucking clue. I'm assuming that's an expansion. I believe it is. I lost interest, unfortunately, in that series after, I think, Red Alert 2 was my last one, and I didn't even get Yuri's Revenge, which I, retrospect, kind of wish I did get, because that was supposed to be quite good. But I enjoyed what I played anyway, so I'll take what I got and go with that. Let's make some more of these. It's 5, I get 20 out of 100. So let's do 25 and go with that. But yeah, both RTSs, obviously. And I feel like it's a genre that's kind of died out a bit. I mean, you have some games that are out there, but they're mostly niche. Like Planetary Annihilation is a big one that comes up that I am aware of that's recent. It's a little bit of a different kind of RTS to a degree. I have it. I think I don't have Titans. I've thought about picking it up. I don't necessarily really feel that I should have picked up Planetary Annihilation in the first place, if I'm remembering the right game. I haven't played it in forever, which is why I think maybe I shouldn't have picked it up. It's an okay game. I don't have a problem. It ran like ass the last time I played it. I'm sure it's improved since then, but I haven't tried. It seemed interesting, but it also seemed very boring and very binary. But then there's other games that are a little bit different, but still RTSs, and those are games like AI War, which was pretty cool. Couldn't really get into it, but I recognized the concept of it and thought it was pretty damn cool. And then you've got, oh shit, what was the other one? Oh, right. And then you've got really they're good but niche games that I like anyway, like Homeworld, Deserts of Karak, which I'm still very slowly trying to make my way through. Breath of the Wild kind of blew that out of the water. I kind of I have very little free time, so what little free time I have is not actively fought over, but like the games that I have kind of fight over which one. Oh, you're gonna die. Why are you gonna die? You being stupid. Okay, let's do this. How about that? And what if I ask someone to build that ladder? You appear to be... Yeah, you're gonna do it. Okay. What about this? You can do that? Okay, it doesn't look like it takes wood. And you should be able to get out of there now. Yeah, you're good. Okay, good. So I'll have to deconstruct those later, but that's fine. I'm glad I caught that. I didn't want that guy to starve to death. That would have been unfortunate. Need another, like, 5,400, I think? 5,340 something to get the next villager. Just off memory of what that number was supposed to be. Okay, lovely. So you're done with the vegetable crap, so that's fine. We'll just finish it. Let them level up. But yeah, the few very small number of hours that I have free to play other games kind of gets eaten up very quickly, because I've got my day job and then I got the YouTube channel that I got to keep running. And because I just moved, I've got a lot of stuff that I need to do there. I need to I'm not even close to finished unpacking. I have a lot of stuff I need to throw away. I need to get some storage that I need to put under my mattress, which doesn't have anything under it right now. I need to put some drawers under that, which I have in storage right now. I just haven't had time to go pick them up and install them and get everything screwed in because it does need some assembly. I need to get my car fixed up because the alignment's fucked. I think I went over some speed bumps a little bit too quickly and took some damage as a result of that, so I'll have to go get that dealt with. I need to get some stuff that I don't need anymore thrown away. I've got medical appointments I gotta go deal with. Point is, I've got a shit ton of stuff on my plate, and my day job is more than full-time, which I am pissed off about, and maybe we're gonna do something about in the near future, but we'll see. Oh, and I'm taking classes. So anyway, not to complain, the point is I have a lot of demands on my time right now. So what little free time I have, as much as I might say, you know, hey, Deserts of Karak is really fun and cool, and I love the Homeworld series, and I'd really like to play it, what's it competing against? Well, first it was competing against moving, which is not a conversation. You have to move. I'm not going to leave my stuff in the old place and get, you know, money taken out of my security deposit because I left something there they have to dispose of, which now I don't have anymore, just so that I can play Deserts of Karak. That's stupid. And I have to do my job before I can play anything. So, you know, that's not going to happen during that period, even though I took time off. Time off doesn't really mean time off lately, which is unfortunate and also not really legal, but they're not... I'm doing it because I don't want to have to deal with the mess when I get back to work, not because they're telling me to do it, so... I like this. I like that he's in the corner. Fuck your health, you have way too much. So, anyway, okay, I need to stop whining. I'm going into far too much detail about stuff that I should just shut up and deal with. Point is, I don't have that much time to play. So now I've finally dust has settled, and I have time to play something. And what am I going to play? Am I going to play Deserts of Karak? Or am I going to play fucking Breath of the Wild? Do the math. I'm going to play Breath of the Wild. It's too damn good. And it's brand new. I love that game. There's a lot of things I hate about it, but I still love it. Don't need wheat. It's so much better than anything else on the market right now, in my opinion. Horizon's pretty close, but Horizon's a little bit too close to being another game. It's too close to being something I've already done. Breath of the Wild, you could say, yeah, it's the same, but I don't know, it's different to me. And I know you could make that same argument about Horizon. I respect the hell out of Horizon. But there's a reason I haven't picked it up yet. And I'll admit that part of that is because I don't have a PS Pro, and I feel like if I wanted to play that, I really would like to play it on a PS4 Pro, which I really want to pick up, but I cannot justify blowing like nearly $1,000 on consoles in 1 month. So if I'm gonna pick up a Switch, you know, I can't really make the argument. And yeah, I've got Breath of the Wild on Wii U, but I want to Switch for other stuff anyway, so I'm looking to pick one up. Mainly Animal Crossing. I'm really, honestly more excited for Animal Crossing than I was for Breath of the Wild. Like, now that I saw, hey, Nintendo's not as stupid as they've looked lately, and they can actually still make a good game, now I'm in. You give me the Pikmin, give me the Animal Crossing, and I'm set. I'll pay for the Switch, fine. 3 games, one of which I already have on a different console. Whatever, I'm in. I'm sure we'll find some other titles that are fun too. But, I'm tempted to wait for them to figure out some of the hardware issues and stuff, but it's hard to resist, man. I want it. And if Breath of the Wild runs better on it, I want that too, because that's the only way in which Breath of the Wild can be better in my book, except maybe having a little bit more stuff in the land. But I can understand that that might compromise the setting that they've developed. But at the same time, you know, maybe the setup exists because that is the limitation that they have. Which, you know what? Fine. I'll accept that. Anyway, enough gushing over that. We're supposed to be talking about RTSs, so... Basically, the point that I was making there, I guess, is that... And by the way, I played StarCraft 2 a bunch as well. Played StarCraft in addition to that back in the day, but... I was far, far better at StarCraft 2 than I ever was at StarCraft. I was terrible at StarCraft. But in StarCraft 2, I had some friends that were pretty into it, so I think I ranked Diamond at one point in ranked. But that's not like a hard rank. That was like I did Dark Templar rushes until I, you know, slotted into Platinum. Or not Platinum, Diamond. And that was late in the game's life. Like, that was a couple of years back. So, I don't, you know... I mean, no, that's not late in the game. So it was before Heart of the Swarm. It was before... No, I think it was just before, like, 6 months to a year before Heart of the Swarm came out. So, you know, it's not terrible, but I was okay. Like, I wasn't completely trash at the game. Which is good, because I'm usually completely trash at anything competitive. I'm just not good at being better than other people, especially in speed-based settings. But other than that, I mean, I grew up on Westwood Entertainment back in the day. I was all about Red Alert, Command and Conquer. Give me that shit every day. Even Warcraft. Not as much, but Warcraft was definitely one of them. But man, Red Alert, oh, I still have Hellmarch and all that stuff on my phone to listen to. The original Command & Conquer soundtrack, shit. What were some of the... Oh man, I can't, okay, I gotta check. What was the name of the artist? Frank Kaplowski? Kind of a Polish sounding name? Kiplaki? I can read it, I can't pronounce it. Yeah, Frank Klepaki, I think. Really, 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 really good music. Absolutely fantastic. If you've never heard it, go check out the original Command & Conquer soundtrack. I also actually played Command & Conquer Renegade, which was, I think, an underrated FPS in the genre, in the series that was quite a bit of fun. Enjoyed that a great deal. I was much more into Westwood than I ever was into Blizzard anything. No, stop giving me pelts. Alright. Blizzard was never really my thing. Alright, that's enough of that. I was always way more into... Let's see, they had, like... Well, Diablo 2 was cool. I played that. Didn't get into Diablo 1. Didn't really have any particular I wasn't really old enough or into gaming enough. I wasn't allowed. I mean, at that point I was so young that my parents kind of controlled my consumption of entertainment to a degree that, you know, if they didn't tell me about something, I wasn't going to know about it. So obviously they don't know shit about Diablo, and they'd probably think of it. They wouldn't think it was like, oh, this is horrible, satanic, you know, this is unacceptable. It would have just been like, this looks a little bit too serious and adult for, like, whatever 6-year-old I was back then when it came out. But what it represents, dungeon crawlers, I got into later in my life. Dungeon Crawl Stone Stoop is great fun. Don't really play it much because, again, the whole time thing, but it's a great game. I enjoy the hell out of it, and it's old as shit. And that kind of roguelike style of game, like the old school roguelikes, not Isaac, not Enter the Gungeon, none of those, not Rogue Legacy. The old ones are the ones that I really enjoy. The ones that are not... I don't want shmup mechanics in my roguelike. I want it to play like an RPG. Give me an RPG roguelike. And you know what? Maybe there's a market for that. Maybe that would be a fun game to develop. And I kind of like to. But, man, I actually kind of want to do that now. Because it doesn't seem like it would be that hard, but it probably would be. That said, I understand that Isaac has kind of defined that genre for the way things are now. Like, in recent times, they've definitely shown, like, hey, this is the best game for what a roguelike is. And that's fine, I respect the hell out of it. It's a great game. And the way the items synergize together, I don't think is something that you could really do to the same degree in, like, a turn-based RPG-style roguelike. Which is more in line with what the old ones were. So, fair enough. I understand. I'm not trying to hate on the modern version just because it's the modern version. I'm not a quick skill guy. That's not who I am. So I really prefer the more tactical turn-based stuff. It just works better for me. And maybe that's Darkest Dungeon, but Darkest Dungeon's not quite as procedural as I would expect from a roguelike, and it lacks some of the elements that I would expect. Even though it does sort of have it a little bit, I'd more consider that like a traditional turn-based RPG more than anything else. Which is fine. It doesn't need to be anything in particular. It's a fantastic game as it is now. You don't need to categorize it as anything else. No, that one's out of place. Whatever. But yeah, RTSs, I just kind of feel sort of died off. It's basically, if you're talking big ones, you've got StarCraft 2 and full stop, which is unfortunate. EA killed Red Alert and Command and Conquer in my mind, but I think maybe some of the magic of that you can't really have anymore, because if you throw money at the shitty live action cutscenes and make them actually look good, that stops being as entertaining, I think. Like the really old Command and Conquer live action scenes were just awesome. It was like terrible B-movie quality shit. It was so fun to see this stuff, and you'd have, what was it? Something Miller, I think. Miller was the name of the GDI guy that your commander or whatever. I don't know if he's a general or one of the ones that like, oh, well, you're doing well, so we're going to upgrade your CO. And then he's now a commander, or he's a whatever. They promote him to be something else, general or whatever, star general. And then of course you have Kane, which was great. And even oh man, was it the Tiberian Wars one? Kane Lives in Death and all that, the whole like giant cult, that was great. The game had a great atmosphere, and like the cheesy B-movie cutscenes were just fantastic to go along with all of it, and I just miss that, and I don't think you can necessarily get that anymore. Especially if you're going to be doing that as a company like Westwood, you almost have to deliberately lower the quality. Because if you're owned by EA, you kind of have a budget that is obscene if you need it. I feel. They don't really understand how to do... Those companies just don't seem to understand how to do low budget anymore. They think, well, if we just throw more money at it, it'll sell more. So yeah, get get like a White House office looking thing and have a balding Texan with a cowboy hat be in it. And that was sort of Red Alert 2. And it worked for Red Alert 2, but I think after that it got kind of... I don't know, they lost it somewhere. It's just not what it was anymore. If they're even still making them, and I think they are. I think there was a new Red Alert not that long ago. But it was also terrible. So oh, you know what else I really miss? I played Dune 2000, which was actually quite fun. Partially because the Dune series is one of my favorite series of books, but that's a whole nother thing. Basically, all the RTSs seem to be like games that I really like, but don't consider my favorites because like they don't do it for me, but I still love them. Or I'm bad at them, so I don't play them much, but I love them anyway. It's kind of where I wind up falling on RTSs. Like I've not booted up StarCraft 2 in like maybe 3 or 4 years now. Maybe less time than that, but still, I haven't played it in a very, very long time. Deserts of Karak is probably the only RTS that I've played in... You know what, I've booted up Sins of a Solar... Oh, how can I forget Sins of a Solar Empire? I love that one. I need more of it, though. They haven't done anything with it in so long now. Expansions aren't going to cut it for that for me. I need more than that, so... We'll get there. I'm sure there'll be more soon, but Sins of a Solar Empire kind of scratched my Homeworld itch a little bit. Homeworld is obviously one of the ones that I really enjoy from back in the day, like I've mentioned. There's a lot of good properties in the RTS world. It's just, I guess people have kind of moved on. They don't really like RTSs anymore. They're not that popular. Maybe we'll get one, like, out of left field that innovates in some way that everyone's like, holy shit, where'd this come from? And then everyone loves RTSs again. I don't know, I don't think that's going to happen for a while, but I think that is kind of a genre that's ripe for that kind of action where eventually someone's going to do something awesome, and now suddenly we're going to see everyone getting back in RTSs. I kind of feel like it's one of those genres. In a similar way, well, roguelikes you didn't come back to, that was a new thing. What's a good example of that? Yeah, I don't know, okay, but hopefully you understand what I mean when I say that. It just feels like one of those genres. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's episode, so thank you very much for listening to my rambling talk about RTSs of the past. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join us for the next one as well. Take care.